Hey guys, I'm Burst. Welcome back to the channel. Today, got something special for you. Today, we're going to be breaking the sound barrier with this card right here. Let's go over it. Start with this one. They're both the same card, just a slight difference. Start back at this long end. Alrighty. We got planetaries here and here. Fast end into a slow end, or a 2.3 into a 1. Then the slow end into the slow end. Fast end into a ring gear. Into a small gear small. Or a gear plate. Then from there we go to a gear large, to a gear medium, into the slow end, and then we put the fast end into a 2-position shifter. Here we have a gear medium that engages the gear small, and we have gear small that engages the gear medium. All that power gets put into the fast end of the planetary. Then we take it off the slow end in a 1-to-1 ratio here. From here it goes into this shifter, and this is where the magic starts happening. We gotta boost the power. Well, top speed. That's where we put the gear larges in. I keep it a 1-to-1 here. Then we go gear large to gear small. Over here it's still a 1-to-1 ratio. Here we step it down a little bit. Another higher ratio here. I want to throw the gear ratios on. Wait, no, that's the dyno sheet. It takes a minute. But yeah, here's the dyno sheet. It theoretically doesn't have a top speed. It says it's off the charts. We got 465 horses, 15 meters per second squared acceleration rate, grip 129, our mass is 645 kilograms, wind resistance is 0, zero aerodynamics. Don't put aerodynamics on your builds if you're trying to break Mach 1. You won't. Trust me. We got a tip over of 0.21. And what powers all of it, through a whole lot of trial and error that I did not record because it would have been a 25-part series of failures to break the sound barrier. Did not break the sound barrier until I started recording this series this morning. Just a little bit of that, so I had to start over. Alright, we start after our transmission and gear reduction here. It's gear reduction, then transmission with some more gear reduction, blah, 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 blah. But to the power plant, we have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 rotaries connected to not 1, but 2 ZAP 3000s. Yep, ZAP Drive 3000. And then connected to those ZAP 3000s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 XRs in the front, all putting it all out the back. Yeah, that's some weight up front, but it works out. It does the job right now. Yeah, let's take her out for a spinny win. Here she is in game. She's a longin'. I usually like to turn around here. I can gauge how good of a run it's going to be by how quickly I get past that half whatever thingy is over there. It's a little slidey at first, but then she kind of mellows out. We hit about 360 at the end of that half thing. I usually start banking at around 340 or 440. So that way we can slow down and have enough time to get to before we get to the edge of the map, so that way we can start our turnaround loop. We're starting to get close. As a matter of fact, there's the end. Yeah, come on, girl. Yeah, there we go. And then we don't have a time limit. Get ourselves around here. As much speed into our lineup as possible. Get centered. And pin the throttle to the floor and go. Alright, 550 before the road, that's a good sign. 600 before the road. 645 passing the bridge. There's 700. There it is. And unfortunately we have to go back to the garage. Because once you fall off the road, you just kind of keep falling off there. I believe that was 782 before we went off the edge of the map. I'll take you for a tour of the difference. It's just right here. It's just a different ratio. So the gear ratio's up on screen now that I used. Take those off now. But yeah, I just changed them out for these gear corners right here, which gives a little bit better acceleration rate versus the gear plate. But yeah, transmission still remains the same. Throw those numbers up on screen again. So that way everybody can see what's happening. Alright, let's take this out for mock run 1. Run. Breaking the sound barrier. Again. But a little quicker, and this has a little bit more top end to it. Yep, I kind of dazed off there. I saw the 500 mark. I was like, oh, we better start slowing down. We're going to go right off the edge of the map. That's going to shoot this run right in the foot. The edge of the map. Slow down, baby. Oh, we did it again. This time, it didn't fall off. So just run up speed on the turn. We're all lined up and away we go. .590 before the road. $700. $768 is what we need. There it is. I'll put the kilometers up in the corner. 804 is what we hit before we went off the map. Whee! And back to the garage we go. Yeah, I'll go over this guy one more time for everybody. You want to make your own. 6 XRs up front. 2 ZET 3000s. 1, 2, 3, 4 rotaries. 2 planetaries, just like this. Going into a planetary just like this. Make sure your first gearbox looks like this. Make sure your output looks like this. Make sure your second gearbox or switch looks like this. And make sure your final drive looks like this. What drives your final axle. How you do it, it's up to you. I'm just showing you the gears and how I obtained my speed and breaking Mach 1 before the map ends. Here it is from up top. Alright, now that the Mach 1 speed is over with, some of my other fast builds, we'll start with the slower fast build. This guy will hit all of 200 plus. It says 272. I believe she'll hit 272. But let's go over the transmission here. I call it the Crash-O-Matic in honor of a viewer. Because it came off of one of his vehicles, idea, design, and all that. I just retrofitted the whole package to fit in my off-road truck design here. Alright, we'll start with the power plant. 5,000s. Supercharger without the toppers. Turbos. You can see on the top here. I'll come out here to a chain drive. To a gear medium from a gear small. Into a gear small to a worm gear. Into the first set of gears. Which we have right here. And then, as you can see, right there. And in here, we have the second shifter kind of buried within the truck, so that way everything's kind of within the truck body itself. You have the final output, which comes to these gear corners here, or gear 90s, not corners. Gear 90s, which then transfer to this gear small, which then drives the final axle right here. And the truck is also all-wheel drive, as you can see by gear small here, the gear small in the front. And this is a little shorter of a build than the other one I'll show you that does 440 plus. All right, let's take it for its top speed run first. And away we go. $275. We hit the rev limiter. Gearbox still has more to give. figure I'd just include some epic wreck footage. Now we see how far we can yeet the truck. That should be good. I can barely see it now. Let's go. Almost made it through that. This is the wreck that never ends. Yes, it went on and on, my friends. Two wheel. There we go. Let's try that again. That was a good launch. Can I land it? Can I stick it? Can I stick it? Nope. Oh, that's a good launch there. We sent this truck to good. Yeah, buddy. Alright, on to the next fast build. Hey, these don't handle for shit, by the way. They're just fast, fun trucks to play with off-road. Any races or anything like that. This is just me playing around, seeing what I can. But what can't be done? Fast off-road. And here's the 442 mile an hour. This max speed. But I think we can get going with this. Go let it close for a bit, and we'll turn her around. This should be a good enough runoff. Camera be back here. We can break the truck now. Hit the rev limiter. How much does she got to give? We're at 447. Up there's the rev limiter. Let's see if we can slow her down before we eat her off the edge of the map. I feel it's coming up quick. Yep, there it is. Almost didn't have enough room. I'm gonna send ourselves back. This one is just for top speed. See how fast I can actually push this build. That was our off-road truck there. this one, and we'll just play over here and jerk it a little bit with it. Wouldn't be a real trophy truck if it didn't have pieces falling off of it anyways, or hanging off. No, didn't stick it. It probably still needs some tuning to take the target jumps like that, but there's still works in progress. Yep, that's my work in progress off-road truck. I'll show you guys the sandrail, but I will spare your ears. It was a fun concept trying to build with these, but the noise these make is absolutely unbearable. It's very ear piercing. It's cool at first, but my god, does it suck. But yeah, this is some sandrail. Pretty primitive gearbox. Mid-engine, rear-wheel drive. Power comes off a planetary. Torque gets amplified. Then out to the front. And starts getting transmitted to and fro. Technically, it gets transmitted to right there. And the shifting happens in this area here. This is the final drive ratio. Sent out to here. And then gear 90s. Sent out to the rear wheels. That's the same rail build. Alrighty, I want to thank everybody for tuning into this quick little how-to episode on the Mach 1 build. Stay tuned for future episodes where I try to condense this down into a smaller build. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed the content. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you all have a great day.